Okay, hi, this is Dave Johnson from DayTrade the Markets, and I've just been filled short at 1878. This is on Wednesday, April the 30th, 2014. Now, this is also the day where the FOMC news was released, and as you can see, let's put our email there in case you want to contact us. You can see that the initial move that the market had was to come down here, back up to make new highs, and then all the way back down here. And we've been in an up move since then. However, we do have an area of resistance from approximately 77.50 to 79, and we did poke our heads above that level. And I'm just going to mark that area in here. 77.50 to 79. So we can just, this is an area of resistance that we have identified going into today. I wanted to wait until the market had a chance to, kind of probe up through there, and then get in on the short side. So I've gone ahead and now short here from 78 even. So I'm going to try and buy back half the position at 76.50. See if we can get a 1.5 out of this, because you can see in here, this is where we've had the most recent run-up started with this. There's a green bar right here. That's a level 2 buying bar, quite strong. And you can see we had another 2 of them here, but shorter in range, and then a slightly new high, which leads me to believe that we probably need to back off, perhaps even test the low here, or into this area where this good buying started from. Whenever the market moves up, at some point there's going to be some profit taking. But it seems to me that we're coming up into a known area of resistance with some good buying and not immediate follow through. Yeah, in other words, I would say if it came up here, hovered in here for a bar or 2 or 3 or 4, and then went up and made new highs and had stayed above 79, then I would still remain very bullish. So this isn't a trade. This short trade here is not really the kind of trade I prefer, because I'm going against the grain. I'm going against the intraday up auction and the intraday up auction. I'm merely doing this as a kind of a short-term, a very short-term trade, thinking that we have come up to a barrier. The kind of range that we have had overall here today is, I believe it's around, let's see, I think today's range is approximately 66 to 79, so about 13, 14. So a little less than what our average has been. I think our 10-day average going into today is about 16 points, so it's a little less than that, but we are trading above the initial probe higher when the news is released, and that's kind of going against us too. So I'm not going to give this trade a long time to unfold. If there's going to be a wave of selling come in, I think it's got to come in pretty quickly here, and take us down to at least the 76 and change area. And if it doesn't happen over this next few minutes, then I'm just going to abandon this trade. But because in my books, I think I've got to be pretty nimble in this trade. In other words, I don't want to hold this for a real long time, because I don't really have a lot of time on my side on this trade, because I'm going against the interday and intraday auction. So here it has come down. Okay, we just got filled, so we're now just have the 2 contracts. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to place a protective buy stop at break even here, right here for break even, because I don't, I just don't really trust the overall strength of the sellers here, that they're really strong and could send this market down a lot. Although I think the short that we did take here had, it's got some good logic behind it and some good structure behind it, both intraday and interday. And I suppose you could say that's what I'm really looking at for any of these trades, is to is if I can combine some interday and intraday logic and interday and intraday structure, then I've probably got a trade that is worth taking, which could have a minimal stop to it, and pretty good potential. Now I don't really think the potential on this trade is fantastic. So I mean as a matter of fact, on that second exit, if it can get down to the low point here, I will exit that as well. So I'm going to buy one. Should it get down to 75.50? We're exited half the position at 76.50. Let's see if it can get down there. I might be trying to squeeze out a little too much, but let's just see what happens on that. If not, we'll get stopped at break even on the second half of the position, but we've still been able to make something on this trade. So anyway, so I guess what I will do now is just pause the recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, picking up the video again. It has come down to 75.50. We have not yet been filled. Hopefully we can get this fill on this shortly. So I just wanted to pick up the video again to, hopefully capture this fill when we're actually recording. So let's see. Okay, good. We got the fill there. So first thing I want to do, of course, is reduce my protective stop amount to just one contract, because we've exited now 3 out of the 4 that we traded. And what I usually like to do is use one of our paint bars here, an aggressive bar of deceleration, an aggressive bar of either buying or selling, and put my stop on one side or the other of it. If I'm short, I will put the stop just above the high. And now we've just had one here. So what I'm going to do on this, I am going to move that to 2 ticks above the high of that. You can see this is it. I can stretch this maybe a little bit so you can see it perhaps better. What I've done now is, the high of this most recent aggressive selling bar is right here at 76.50. So that's why I've lowered my stop, protective buy stop on the final 1/4 of this position to 1877. So we'll we've locked in a point on that. We made 1.5 points on the first 2. We made 2.5 points on the second exit, but that was just for one contract. Now we've at least locked in 1 point on the final contract here. So we will we'll just let it ride here and see what we get. I'll go ahead and put the video on recording on pause. Okay, I want to restart the video here. We're getting more follow through to the downside than what I anticipated, which is good to see considering we're short. You can just see that we had this red bar here, which is a level 2 aggressive selling bar. And so what I'm going to do, we're just down to one contract here, so I'm going to place that stop just a couple of ticks above the high of this bar. As you can see, that's at 1875.50, so our buy stop is at 1876. We're short at 1878. So we've locked in 2 points on this one. We have already successfully made 1.5 points on the first 2 contracts and 2.5 points on the second. So we lock in at least 2 here on this final, should it turn around and move on us here. So looking good for right now. When I was looking at this before, I really thought it would probably come back up after taking a bit of a dip here and giving another, in other words, I was anticipating more of a test into this area. You can see here that, and we just move it over a little bit, you can see that we had good buying from here in this level 2 buying, the green bar, another 2 level 2 buying and buying. I really thought it would probably come down in here and then perhaps turn back up. But we just want to watch and see what the market gives us, because really that's how we're trading here, is taking a look at the intraday and intraday auction and then getting confirmation of what we think the market is doing in real time, and therefore going ahead and make a trade. I would not have just blindly made this short trade up there around the 78 area, even though I knew that the 79 to 77.50 was an area of resistance. I waited until I felt there was some degree of exhaustion in there before I waited to get long. By the way, one of the things I didn't mention on this was that our high for the day was up here at 79.50. So the short here that I took was at 78 even. So our stop would have been just 1 tick above that. So That's because I know I forgot to mention, what would be a good place to put the stop on that. So that would have been a from 78 to 79 3/4. That would be a 1 3/4 point stop on that. So anyway, it's good to see it go down there. And once again, I'll just go ahead and put this video recording on pause until the market dictates otherwise. Okay, just started the video back up. You can just see it just right now hit our 76 level, which is where our stop was, 2 ticks above the high of this level 2 selling bar. So we did get stopped on that. I did make a summary over here. So that last trade was just a single contract for a 2-point gain. We had the second exit for a 2.5 point gain, and the first exit we had a 1.5 point gain, but that was on 2 contracts. So we had a nice little trade here, 7.5 points. So if you've got any questions or comments, want to get in touch with us, learn more about the software and our trading approach and our trading coaching and so on, just get a hold of us right here at info@DayTrade the Markets. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.